After the release of Insomniac Games' first title, Destructor, Universal Interactive hired them to create a new mascot to go alongside Crash Bandicoot. Spyro the Dragon was released on the PS1 in 1998, selling over 5 million units worldwide, and after 2 sequels, the series was taken to different routes, starting from a darker tone to the toy-to-life genre. Now, Toys for Bob had remastered the first PS1 games and had released them on the PS4 and Xbox One. But what changes have they made to these beloved titles? Welcome to the HUD everyone, I'm Zacharoni, and today I'll be a waiter who will be going through some of the features the game has to offer. So without further ado, please be seated, and here are the toppings on Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Artisan, one of the 5 kingdoms that is home to the dragons, who are not sheep nappers or world destroyers, but instead they are independent warriors, explorers, and even artists who live in peace for many generations. Until one day, while doing an interview with them, all the dragons were turned into crystal by a grumpy villain named Ganok after one of them said a harsh opinion about him. Luckily, Spyro was the only one that didn't get crystallized, so he's now on a quest to free all the dragons and stop Ganasty from causing any more trouble. But along the way, he must also stop an evil warlock named Ripto and rescue the tribe's eggs from an evil sorceress who has an army of Rhinox and an apprentice named Bianca. If the newer generation of gamers haven't played any of the Spyro games before, here's what you need to know. Spyro is a 3D platformer where you have free roaming worlds to explore with a set number of levels to find. But while the trilogy contains the first game, you need to download a patch to unlock the other 2 games, and then you can switch between them anytime you want. So let's do a rundown on all 3 of the game's structures. In Spyro the Dragon, your main objective is to free a set number of dragons in order to proceed to the next world. In the sequel, Ripto's Rage, the same rules apply, but you are collecting talismans and you have to deal with a boss fight to continue. Plus, there are side objectives like destroying a set number of objects or play a game of ice hockey. And your reward is an orb that you can use to unlock new levels throughout your playthrough. In the third game, titled Year of the Dragon, is a combination of the first 2 games where you need a set number of dragon eggs to proceed. There are treasures to collect, and they are just used for getting 100% completion. However, in the next 2 games, you use them on a Scroogey businessman named Moneybags. In Ripto's Rage, he will give you a new ability like swimming and climbing to proceed through the game, or access areas that you couldn't get to the first time. And in Year of the Dragon, he will give you a new character to play as in special levels. Gee, talk about slave labor. But if you do miss a key item or certain treasure in a level, then you can fast travel to it by opening up a special menu and selecting it, and you are instantly there. Well, right after the loading times, of course. If anyone plays the original PS1 games, then they'll probably remember what they look like from before. Now, on the PS4 and Xbox One, they have upscaled everything, with clear textures in the environment and characters with more expression, which is all powered by Unreal Engine 4. Police drummer Stuart Copeland composed the original 3, but he returns to make a new main theme for the game, while the rest is done by Stephen Volko, who is an employee of Toys for Bob. Even though you can't switch the graphics around, you can change the game's music to its original soundtrack from the options menu. As for the voice cast, it features Cassandra Lee Morris as Elora, Robbie Damon as Hunter, J.B. Blanc as Greedy Old Moneybags, Misty Lee as the Sorceress, Melissa Hutchison as Bianca, sorry if I couldn't pronounce that last name right, and Tom Kenny, who reprised his role as Spyro from the second and third games, along with Michael Gough as Ganok, and Greg Berger as Ripto. As for options, you can only alter the music, sound effects, and voices from 0 to 1, activate dynamic to the Reignited soundtrack, and you can display a map on the bottom left corner. The game can be played with the classic style controls for longtime fans, where you control the camera with the triggers, but in the Reignited setup, you control the camera with the right analog stick. So I'll be going through the new setup in all 3 of these games with this. Spyro can jump, glide for a short distance, dodge roll left and right, and can set the camera in first person to look at the environment, or aim accurately when spitting out objects. When attacking enemies, he had 2 types. He can headbutt them, but holding it down allows him to charge across the field at incredible speed. And he can, just like all dragons can do, breathe fire at a shotgun range. However, you need to make sure what types of enemies you are dealing with, because some will have metal to counter his fire attack, while the big guys can overpower your charge attack. Spyro can take up to 4 hits, which you'll know this with his dragonfly companion, Sparks, who change color when Spyro takes damage, and you can refill its health by devouring butterflies from smaller enemies. But if Spyro is down, then he'll lose a life and respawn at the nearest checkpoint, which automatically saves your progress. As for the extra playable characters in Year of the Dragon, they all play differently, like Shear the kangaroo, who can jump higher when pressing the button at the right time landing on the ground, while Sergeant Bird can fire rockets at enemies and can flap around the environment, just like Flappy Bird, except he's a penguin for some reason. Finally, there are flying sections, but it only involves doing objectives like going through rings and destroying objects in the fastest time. You're rewarded treasure to add to your collection for each completed task, but if you do all of them, you are presented with the time you finish with. The Reignited Trilogy will cost you £32.99 at retail, that requires 50GB of storage, but £34.99 digitally, that requires 30GB of storage. As for achievements and trophies, each game in the trilogy has their own separate list. So in Spyro the Dragon, it has 36 achievements and 37 trophies. In Ripto's Rage, it has 29 achievements and 30 trophies. And in Year of the Dragon, it has 40 achievements and 41 trophies. So in total for each platform, Xbox One users will have 105 achievements to collect, while PS4 users will have 108 trophies to obtain, which comes with a platinum for each game. Well, that's some of the features that I can tell you right now, but if there are some that I have missed, let me know in the comments, and I hope this will give you an idea of what you'll be getting for your money. Check back with me later after the end of the month, and I'll tell you what I think of Spyro Reignited Trilogy and all the other games I've been playing. And if you like what you see, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. But until then, I'm Zacharoni. Enjoy your pizza, and I'll see you next time.